be 50th. What is that, Diamond?
I think so. Yeah.
I just remember my only reference to 50th anniversary is when Disney was celebrating its 50th.
Yes, that's how I knew it was Diamond. You're right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that my grandparents were married that long. I don't remember. I mean, one of them is dead now, so it stopped somewhere.
My favorite part of the 50th anniversary of Disneyland is when Mickey came out and sang "Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend." A kiss on the hand can be quite continental.
When diamonds are a girl's best friend. That's Minnie. That's Minnie coming out.
Then Minnie trips down the stairs.
Oh!
And, what happened?
Yeah.
Everybody, and welcome back to a very special episode of Who Is My Doctor?
Who is my doctor?
Who is indeed. I am your host, Zach, and I know a lot about Doctor Who.
And I'm also your host, Cassie. And why special?
Because today we're going to look at the 50th anniversary of the show, Cassie. The episode titled The Day of the Doctor.
Woo.
Yes, he's got a whole... It's his birthday. It's his birthday, Cassie.
Dia de la Doctor.
That was Spanish. I mean, I guess it is if it's his name.
Yeah.
Yes, today we're going to look at the 50th anniversary special. We've taken a long kind of wind up to get here, for sure, with all the previous specials.
I don't even remember why this was special.
Well, if
you're genuinely so lost and confused.
If you'll remember at the end of the last season.
Yes, when we watched that little itty bitty bit with Paul McGann.
If you remember the end of the last season, the Great Intelligence had decided to infect the Doctor's very timeline.
Yes.
Because at his grave is his unraveling history.
We're looking at the Doctor's dirty laundry.
Yes, and then to save him, one Clara Oswald dove in to save all those times that the Great Intelligence had tried to corrupt, and in doing so stumbled upon an incarnation of the Doctor that, quote, broke the promise. We see him as John Hurt. The community has collectively decided to call him the War Doctor, who takes place between Paul McGann and Christopher Eccleston's 8th and 9th Doctors.
Huh.
And this, I think this came out at the height of a lot of people's fandoms. I think this was sort of like a big moment for the show.
I mean, also, people love a 50th anniversary.
Yeah, people love a big anniversary in general, but 50 is a huge one for sure. And I think Stephen Moffat took a lot of this on himself. Moffat had started writing a script for the 3 new Doctors. It was for Eccleston, Tennant, and Matt Smith. I think I have said stuff in the past that will differ from what I'm saying now, but I've done a little more research now and I know a little bit more what I'm talking about. He had started writing it and started showing things to Eccleston because I think he knew Eccleston was going to be the hardest sell on coming back. Mm-hmm. Moffat has said that he just doesn't think Eccleston is the kind of actor to come back to a role like this.
Yeah.
Even if it was on the best of terms, it's just not his bag. And but to Eccleston's credit, he did come in for a few meetings, read a few pages of scripts, and it got to a point where Moffat was like, I need you to tell me yes now before I keep going, because if I get too far, I will have to throw this whole script away if you tell me yes, and I can't. And Christopher Eccleston yeah. Christopher Eccleston did say, I'm not coming. And so he came up with the idea of the War Doctor to sort of fill in this third hole that was sort of filling the story he had been writing.
Wow.
And cast Academy Award winner John Hurt to play him. And now we are here at the Day of the Doctor. I'm excited for you to see it. I think this was a big deal. I saw this in theaters.
Okay, dweeb.
I saw this in theaters in cosplay as the 11th Doctor.
Again. Okay, dork.
Yeah, I'm a real dork.
You nerd.
I mean, I'm co-hosting a Doctor Who podcast. I don't know that anyone had any impressions or was anything else. But do you have any expectations for the 50th anniversary?
No,
any
I
thoughts?
mean, I imagine that because they broadcast, because they showed it in theaters, not only were they acknowledging, oh, this is a big deal, but they went, this is a big deal that we can definitely capitalize on and make it
an event.
Yeah, we can make that. We can milk it. We can really, really make this something that people are going to want to come and see. Therefore, I also imagine that for like the production itself,
I mean, yeah,
it being a little bit more,
I do think there was, because this is
a little bit more dynamic and interesting than just any old, Dalek episode.
for sure. I do think there was just an environment going on for big fan events. This was about a year and a half after the first Avengers movie came out.
What year was this?
This
then?
is 2013.
Okay, so what Harry Potter were we on theatrically?
I think they were done.
Were they?
Yeah, I think I could be wrong, but I seem to remember they were done in 2012.
Even still, 2012, because I never went to anything like this necessarily. But when the Deathly Hallows were coming out,
Yeah, I did that for sure.
we did the midnight showings because that's back in the day when theaters still had midnight showings.
Yes, Deathly Hallows Part 2 came out in 2011, so this was after
Okay,
that.
so this was still riding on that wave.
Yeah, there was still this big wave of like
big, juicy, yummy fan
yeah, the
events.
Marvel Cinematic Universe was like at its zenith at this point with after the Avengers, Doctor Who was hitting its big moment. Harry Potter had just finished its big run.
Game of Thrones, where was that at that point?
I think Game of Thrones it was in the good season still at this point, I believe.
That's what I'm asking. Because I really feel like there was a moment in time where, and I get it still is kind of going on, but the luster is not quite as bright of people really getting gassed up for like TV show events.
Yeah, I think this is one of those like really big tentpoles for Tumblr, especially because Sherlock was coming out so sporadically, especially because that was also Stephen Moffat's show, so he could only do Sherlock when he wasn't really focused on Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Supernatural was going to keep going for a long time. It didn't really have its like big tentpoles for a few years. It was just kind of like steaming along. And this being the third pillar of the Tumblr girly fandom, this having its big event, I think, was a big online moment. I certainly remember it very fondly. I remember this time specifically very fondly where I had just fully fallen in love with the show.
Because I think 2012 was, you had graduated.
Yeah, I was a couple years out of high school.
I was still in high school.
Yeah.
I think at this point in time, I would have been a sophomore.
Mm-hmm. I would have been a sophomore in college.
Cool.
But I remember having a lot of fun. I went to the only, like a year later, I went to the only Doctor Who convention I've ever heard about happening in Oklahoma, which happened at basically a bar in, I think it was Tulsa. Like it wasn't a convention center. It was a room.
That's really funny.
Yeah. And
come to the Doctor Who convention at Red Robin's.
I want you to know I've been in Red Robin's that were bigger than the space we had that convention, and it was so small, but it was so like
at Coco's.
But it was really cool because there are people who like came in with their like homemade Daleks and homemade TARDISes.
Anybody with a homemade canine?
I don't remember. I don't believe so.
Then they don't matter.
There are people with actual canines. I remember there being dogs there. Will you allow it?
No.
Well, we're going to find out what the big hubbub was all about.
What's the big deal with all of this?
What's the big deal? But first, before we do that, we should get into the Cassie Perfassi a little bit today.
Hooray.
I didn't want to spoil too much of it with these questions. There is a little bit of a spoiler here, but I think you'll have fun with the question a little bit anyway. The first question is, this special also decided to bring back a classic Doctor Who alien called a Zygon.
Hey, Zach, I think we should just let Zygons be Zygons. That joke was not that funny.
I mean, I still enjoyed it. So Zygons are an alien species with, I think, what we would call a superpower.
Okay.
Like a X-Men style superpower.
Okay.
What superpower do you think they have, Cassie?
Oh, man. I don't get anything else.
I would say it's something that you have seen. You've seen someone do it in an X-Men movie. I'll put it that way. So it's not. I'm not giving you like a
You are giving me the clue of one of the X-Men has this power.
An X-Men character does this.
Okay.
Yes.
I like the idea of it having shape-changing abilities like Mystique.
Okay.
Just because visually that sounds very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But also, if it's a classic Doctor, what on earth would they have done for shape-changing abilities?
It just jumps and looks different.
Man, can I be super honest?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the only X-Men I know right now.
Okay, so you're thinking
Other than like Mystique and Magneto, I only know the M-Men.
Mystique, Magneto, Cyclops, Cyclops,
Beast,
Beast, Rogue,
Rogue.
Wolverine,
Yep,
Hugh Jackman.
Huge Jackman.
So you're gonna go with shape shifting then? Is that where you're?
I think so. Yeah, well, because that's
what's speaking to you in the
Oh
Cassie?
wait, Storm.
Phoenix.
The Phoenix. Yeah, that's kind of the only one that I can really, because like
I was about to be really stupid and say Magneto. God, I'm an idiot.
anyways, or in the words of in my favorite quote from our current administration, okay.
So you're gonna go with Mystique shape-changing powers is what you're.
I think so,
what the
just
tea leaves
because
telling you?
I'm trying to think about like what else could be interesting, and it's like storm affecting abilities is also very cool.
Mm-hmm. Like weather control, but that's
Yeah.
I imagine that would be even harder to do in the 80s, 70s, 80s.
Yes, I mean they have artificial rain.
Yeah, fair.
You don't have to wait for a rainy day to shoot a passionate love scene, Zach. They just bring out giant showers, hose down the actors. Yeah, let's go. Let's go with Mystique.
All right, Mystique's shape-changing powers. Alrighty, and then the second part of the Cassie Professor today. I had a couple questions submitted for the episode from our patrons, and I don't want to sound like I'm ignoring them. They would either give too much away or they had multiple answers in a way where I wasn't sure how to count the question. So instead, I will say your second question. Do you remember in the episode where they go back to Shakespearean times in David Tennant's era?
No. Wait. No.
So there's
I just remember them having a single line about J.K. Rowling, and then you and I both went, ooh.
Yeah, so if you remember at the end of that episode, Queen Elizabeth shows up.
Sure.
And refers to the Doctor as her sworn enemy.
Okay.
In this special, we find out why.
Oh, hooray.
Would you like to take a guess as to why the Doctor is her sworn enemy?
Oh no. Fuck. Man, I don't know. Let's see. What would piss off a queen?
Queen Elizabeth I, especially.
Telling her one of her dogs is ugly. I don't know that much about Queen Elizabeth. This is not a very easy question for me. I don't know Zach, I'm going to tell you something. I know a lot about fashion history.
Okay.
I don't know a lot about actual history.
So Queen Elizabeth
Other than
I.
that heels were originally made for men, specifically to keep their little tootsies out of the sewage in the streets. That's why people wore heels.
Mummy, I don't want to step in the sewage. Give me nicer shoes.
Yes.
Some platform heels, perhaps.
In Pompeii, this is a total tangent. In Pompeii, because you can still see them, there are like these very shallow ravines throughout the city with like cobblestone like jump ways, basically, because in those ravines is where all of the shit, blood, and guts would go.
Oh, okay.
And then the cobblestones were meant so that way you could cross the street and not get, knee deep in poop. Fun fact. Now you know more.
I don't want to go wading in the shit again, Mummy. Please, give me the nicest shoes.
Yeah. The more you know.
So Queen Elizabeth I was effectively the first queen to rule over England.
Could you imagine being a gentleman and putting your coat down to like let a lady cross, but you're just putting your coat down in some like dysentery piss?
It was way more gentlemanly back then to do it. Now it's like, oh, it's a puddle. She's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, she was wearing socks, though. No, it's a good thing to do.
Oh, she wore her socks in Crocs.
In the rain? Oh, no.
Oh, no. We'll just hop into Rite Aid and get her some new shoes. They sell those at Rite Aid. Anyways, Queen Elizabeth.
So Queen Elizabeth I was effectively, if memory serves correctly, she was the first queen to preside over England. Up until then, it had always been men.
Oh, that's why she's the first.
Yes, she was Queen Elizabeth I. Well, I remembered wrong doing some research after the fact because I don't like putting up misinformation on the podcast if I can correct it quickly. I was wrong. Queen Elizabeth was not the first queen to preside, queen regnant, I guess what they're called, the first queen to preside over England. It was actually, it's really embarrassingly wrong because the first one to do that undisputed was immediately before Elizabeth was her half sister Mary, Bloody Mary, Queen Mary the First of England. So that's a little embarrassing. There are other queens before that have been disputed, mainly because it seems like they only ruled for like a week. Lady Jane Grey only ruled for a week, and it looks like there was a Holy Roman Empress who also had her crown taken from her by her cousin. So anyway, just wanted to get that out there. I wanted to correct that record. Anyway, back to the podcast. Queen Elizabeth I was also called the Virgin Queen. She famously went unmarried. She was a patron of the arts. That's why Shakespeare was such a big deal, I think, at the time. Besides him being a very prolific playwright, but it was also, he was bolstered by the fandom of the Queen specifically wanting to go see his stuff.
It's odd referring to fans of Shakespeare as them being in a fandom. Like I know what you mean. That just feels like a very. It's also weird term.
To know that Shakespeare has a fandom right now. It just they tend to become English teachers.
Yeah, or comedians,
or YouTubers. Yeah, I don't know if any of that sparks any ideas for you. She had been a very successful queen. She ruled over a prosperous era. It's called the Elizabethan era for her. So I don't know if that sparks any thoughts as to why, or it could just be a fun, non-relevant reason to her being queen. Could just be a character moment. Why the Doctor becomes the Queen Elizabeth's sworn enemy.
Because I also have to remember that this is a show that's on the BBC, not a show that is on Pornhub. Because my immediate thought was like, oh, the Doctor saw her titties out.
Dr. Hoochie saw her coochie.
Yup. And I know that that's most likely not the answer because, again, family show, BBC. Most importantly, British show. I don't think that they would have
the Queen going tits out.
Yeah. Like full frontal for free. I don't think it's that. Because it's also like, what does one have to do to become a mortal enemy?
Here's another interesting point. The one she had recognized was David Tennant's Doctor. So unless the Queen knows the Doctor regenerates, it would have to be David Tennant specifically that made her angry.
That rascally fool could have done anything. That's why I'm thinking, what's a comedic situation for David Tennant to get stuck in? And it truly is him walking in on something that he shouldn't have seen and then just going, oh, my apologies.
Okay. So maybe we phrase
this
way.
I think that might be kind of the world that I'm dancing in is David Tennant Doctor walks in on something that he should not have seen.
Okay. I'll take that then. I'll take that as an answer. That works.
David Tennant learned that Santa Claus is his mom. You know, just that degree of like...
He found out that Queen Elizabeth wasn't a virgin after all.
Yeah, something like that. He's seen something... That's my answer. Ding, ding, ding. That's what I'm ringing in.
He saw something he shouldn't have and has now been... Okay. All right, that works for me. Okay, then. Well, with that in mind, we will find out together if the Zygons have the power to shapeshift, and if David Tennant walked in on something he shouldn't have and got branded as an enemy of the crown.
Yeah.
As we watch
could you imagine walking in and then being like, oh, I'm going to tell somebody.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm going to tattle.
Like he's branded a spy.
Yeah.
Well, we will find out about that together as we watch the 50th anniversary special, The Day of the Doctor.
Now, I'm not saying David Tennant is the most likely to be a narc. I'm not saying that, though.
We all know the feeling. The lights dim, a hush falls over your party, the cake comes out, and dread fills your heart. You have just become the star of a poorly rehearsed community theater production. Hi, I'm podcaster and professional asshole Zach Hurst, and I am a card-carrying representative of the Anti-Birthday Song Brigade. Let's be honest, nobody likes being sung to in public. It is an endurance test disguised as a celebration. You will just stand there, awkwardly smiling, listening to your family try to harmonize a song that's not even good enough to be performed at karaoke. Most people can't hold a tune to save their lives, and this is the anthem for our special day. It's musical mediocrity. Life is hard enough without turning the one day a year meant to be about us into a 60-second torture session brought to us by our own mothers. The Anti-Birthday Song Brigade says no more. We have discovered this song's fatal weakness. It is designed to end with the blowing out of birthday candles, which means to end our collective victimhood, we simply blow out our candles early. Break the cycle. Break the curse. Take your day back. Join the brigade. And we are back from the Day of the Doctor.
Bad Wolf.
Bad Wolf don't want to go.
Bad Wolf.
Geronimo, Alan Z, they said all the things. All the things were said.
No more. Gallifrey stands.
So what'd you think, Cassie?
I think I liked it. I didn't write many notes, which usually is an indicator to me that I'm like ardently paying attention.
Especially because this is a longer episode than usual. This is about
this is a movie.
Yeah, this is close to 90 minutes. It's a little under, but it's effectively the length of like a two-parter put together.
It's the length of like a rom-com.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's 79 minutes is the total. So yeah, it's definitely got a full length to it. It's
irrespective of how long it is, it's packed nicely. And by that, I mean the pacing is really good, and it felt like it was much longer than it actually was.
Yeah, the pacing is really good. There's a lot of like clever lines in it that I really enjoyed. I think the one that really got you was them having this whole long moment about how like, oh, we've had my sonic screwdriver's had 400 years to figure out the calculations. By now you could disintegrate the door, and then Clara just bursts in and it wasn't locked.
Well, because that is the most D&D ass thing, but is the DM just being like, you didn't check the door. You didn't tell me that you didn't say what you were doing with your sidekick. Well, shit, dude, I didn't know I had to specify what we were doing with our kobold friend. Gosh, golly, we're not the one controlling him. You make his rolls, therefore he's your responsibility.
One of my favorite one of my favorite moments is very early on, where it's just like Osgood is the woman in the big Fourth Doctor scarf.
Yeah, I was very confused because I was like, wait a minute, I thought her name was Oswald. No, they chose the same name.
This is a girl named Osgood, and she runs up to Kate Stewart, and Kate's like, the crows are looking sluggish. Tell them to change the batteries out. And I love that because birds aren't real.
I mean, I had a bird for 20 years.
And it wasn't real.
No, she was not.
You forgot to replace its batteries.
That
That's all
was
that happened.
Sentient. That's why she was so angry. Because she was just constantly having to charge via the sun. But I kept her in a cage in the kitchen.
And then what's interesting in thinking about it is this plot is actually really complicated.
Oh yeah. I think that's also why it was difficult for me to really know. I notated some things.
Mm-hmm.
But it's difficult to take notes when the entire time I'm like, if I look away for a split second, I'm missing something.
Yeah.
I cannot write down because for anybody who's interested, when we're watching these, we very seldom pause for note taking.
Yeah.
We pause for snack getting, but not note taking.
Snack getting and bathroom breaks, but otherwise,
the entire thing that this podcast rotates around, the thing that really we should pause to take notes so we have stuff to talk about.
I have two contentions with that. On one hand, I feel like a lot of what makes this podcast work is that we are not just like reading our notes. You and I
we're improving, baby.
Yeah, we're going off vibes. Like it's fun to talk about the specifics, but also it's just like
vibe-based podcast.
Yeah, it's a vibe-based podcast, but also like pacing is part of the show, and I feel like pausing it to like take a note sort of disrupt the flow of the episode and can alter your opinion of it.
Fair.
And so there is a part of it that's like, I don't believe in that unless I really have to, like if I have to take a really long note that it's going to distract me from the show anyway. But I feel like for the most part, these are written to.
This is Zach saying, length. Hey, Cassie, write faster. Come up with a code that even you can't decipher.
Pause it, but
no, you're telling me that I need to write faster and
learn some shorthand. And
what do I look like? A stenographer?
I mean, a little bit, yeah.
Nah. Classic opening though.
Yeah,
classic opening.
The very beginning starts with the classic opening, and then it fades into
fades into black and white, and then it fades into color against a gray and brown wall. So really, there's no transition whatsoever.
Well, that's the thing is
they just turn on the color, and you go, wall.
The shot it's reminiscing is also the very first shot of the very first episode.
I wouldn't know that. I've never seen that.
But the school that Clara is teaching at is Cold Hill School, which is the school that Susan went to in the very first episode as well. So it was a lot of little allusions to the very first episode. Speaking of which, we learned that Clara is a teacher now. She's no longer a nanny.
Easter egg.
Yeah, a little nice little moment for her. Nice little. I don't know if it's a upgrade. I don't know how well they pay teachers over there, but
I mean, I have friends who are nannies.
Mm-hmm.
She's getting paid significantly less.
Again, I don't know what it is in the UK though. I can't speak to the way UK pays their teachers.
Fair.
But yeah, I like all these little allusions, and then someone like runs into Clara's like classroom, and she's like, "Are you okay? There was a call from your doctor." And she's like, "Oh, did he leave an address?" And I'm like, what a weird thing to ask.
Yes.
I guess to us in the real world, like to us who know the context, absolutely makes sense. But to that guy who's just like, why is she going to see her doctor at a random?
But also,
address?
Why did they send a child to say, could you please go run this note to Miss Oswald? Thank you.
Yeah.
Typically, that would be like an intercom thing of Miss Oswald to the office, or.
I mean, it's also a very old school. They may not have the infrastructure for that.
Okay.
Yeah, because if the school's been around since at minimum the 60s.
You're being very pointed at me right now. Maybe no school.
Well, I'm thinking about
whatever.
I'm just thinking like that school in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory doesn't have a speaker in it. They just got.
Why would they need one?
In case someone has to go to the doctor.
Whatever. Time Lord art, bigger on the inside.
Yeah, Clara drives down to this dirt road for somewhere.
Yeah, Clara's somehow in the middle of the desert. That make sense?
Yeah, they were like, did he leave an address? Oh, the address is the middle of nowhere? Okay.
Oh, the address is coordinates? Could you imagine that poor fool taking the message, just being like, okay, I'll send her to Utah?
I'll send her to... next to the Scarecrow.
I'll send her to Wales.
And then she drives into the TARDIS, which I really like. That feels very Clara.
I was really hoping. I went, if this fool doesn't open the doors for her to just drive her motorbike into the TARDIS, I'm leaving.
And I like that you see that Clara and the TARDIS
and the doctor's reading a fake book. Love that, too.
It just says like quantum physics.
Yes, but it's just a jacket that they printed and put on a different book.
Yeah, and it's funny because you can tell it's a jacket. They put a different book because on the jacket there are 2 TARDISes on it.
Yeah.
Like, did he write the book himself? Is that why it says that? And then the doctor goes "Draft," and so Clara snaps her fingers, and the doors of the TARDIS close. So I like that we get to see that Clara and the TARDIS made up.
Yeah.
Now that the TARDIS knows what Clara's whole vibe is, like why?
Now that TARDIS understands, she's way nicer. You know, like most women. I will be the world's biggest bitch to you until I understand your lore. Once I get it, you've got a friend for life, baby.
And then so they talk about the plans they're gonna do, and instead the doctor says, "Oh, the TARDIS is taking off, but the engines aren't on." Cut to the TARDIS being airlifted.
No, he's being Toy Story alien clawed. Japanese gashapon machine. Just it's very comical. It is the most arcade claw I've ever seen. That helicopter, pinpoint precision, baby.
Yeah, and I told you this while we were watching it. That was filmed practically.
I know you said it was filmed practically. Was it flying over London, or was it just flying over an open field?
It was flying over London. There is footage of the TARDIS being carried by crane.
Oh, that's kind of sick.
I think I may be misremembering because it's been a minute.
It was at them saying, hee, this is us filming the show, and also this is promotion for the show.
Yeah, I could be misremembering. One, you kind of can't ignore that because where they land is in front of the National Archives, which is a giant museum in the middle of the city.
Well, yes, but even still, where they land, it cuts to it a different.
Yeah,
it's a different cut. So them flying over London and then them landing.
I think, if memory serves correctly, the helicopter was not real in those last shots. It was a crane that moved the TARDIS in.
Yes, but the helicopter flying over London.
Yeah, I believe that at least part of that was for sure real. There's footage and photos of it. I'm pretty sure that.
And you're not talking about the videos that people have been taking of porta potties being airlifted, taking to the skies, and then putting the soundtrack over.
I'm also positive the shot of Matt Smith hanging from the TARDIS and clicking his little heels. I'm pretty sure he was not actually like super high off the ground for those.
No,
they got to protect their moneymaker, by which I mean his chin. But I think that's really fun, and then they. Just sort of, I like how even the doctor's like, "Why didn't you knock on the door? This is my house and my car.
Why didn't you call me?"
It's literally a phone booth.
Yeah, hi, we didn't think you were going to be inside. What? Unit, you know better.
I mean, in a modicum of fairness to Unit, he does often go scamping about the place when he arrives somewhere.
But his TARDIS then being completely gone, I don't think the doctor would have thought, "Oh, it was Unit airlifting my home."
He would have got Daleks. The Daleks have done this. They took my house. The Daleks foreclosed on me.
It's the adipose. They rolled it. The TARDIS just slid on a bunch of adipose.
TARDIS is fat now. A Lardis.
That was pretty good. That was a good joke.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. I really liked it. That's why I'm laughing.
Anyway, the doctor and Clara get walked into the National Archive where they see Gallifreyan art, which is bigger on the inside.
I was so cruel to it at first, and then I went, because I didn't understand that it was like 3D, like lenticular art. Because when you first see it, it is just looks like
they've locked the camera off, so you just get one image from it.
And so it's like, wow, yeah, there's a lot of depth of field in it. But then as soon as it turns, and then you see the painting also turn within, I went, oh, that's kind of cool. That reminds me of the magic windows on Main Street.
Yeah, I think that's a really fun effect. I think it's a really fun piece of like almost magic lore that absolutely makes sense with when you know that Gallifreyans use this sort of bigger on the inside physics to finding different ways to execute that is really fun. So I like
and
it.
Like it's and okay, hold on. I got really excited because I'm about to talk about one of my favorite things in the whole world. It's very apropos for a museum because it reminded me specifically of museum miniatures. Buckle up, baby.
Okay.
just that's it. I'm just thinking about how much I love museum miniatures and how it's a dying art.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's not a lot of appreciation for tiny art.
Well, the good news is there's a great curator who might be able to resurrect them.
I'm so glad that he was behaving.
Yeah, the first time I
Oh
think
my God,
ever
I'm
on
so
camera.
happy that he was behaving.
The first time I think ever on camera where
We'll just
or
skip
Tom Baker decided
so
to work.
far to the end. Yes.
Yes. I just think it's very fun.
Well, because another whimsy man. You can't tell me that Tom Baker was not written by Lewis Carroll. Like, I know that I joke that this particular doctor is Peter Pan.
Yeah, well, he's doing. We talk. This Lewis Carroll says he keeps doing a lot of double speak.
Yep.
He's like, no, it is not 2 titles. It's 1 title. Gallifrey falls no more. Who knows, eh? Who knows? I'm like, he's doing. First was a question, and then it was a sentence. He's doing the same thing as our podcast title.
I just I know one of our patrons asked, so who is your doctor? And I know I
It's old man Tom Baker.
it's old man Tom Baker. No, it's not. I always have a hard time though, because I'm like, fuck. 4 is 4 and 8. 4 and 8 right now, but moreover, it's K9.
I mean, that means that 12 is also going to be a big deal for you if the pattern will continue.
I know. I think it might, because 12 is coming up next. Yeah,
12 is coming up pretty soon.
And from what I hear,
did you like the little we got?
we did. We got a little sneaky peeky.
They call those his attack eyebrows.
It's attack.
Yeah. Yeah, they had announced Capaldi was taking over from Matt Smith, I think 2 months prior to this special coming out. Yeah, so basically everyone knew, and that's the first and I think only time the show has ever been able to bring up a doctor that isn't the doctor yet to come in and play the character.
Just so absolutely fun.
Yeah.
I liked that.
Yeah, I think that's really fun.
Because we are getting a little bit ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, we're all the way at the
keeping
end of the special. Maybe we head back a little bit.
Could you imagine though regenerating from Victorian whimsy boy to grizzled old man?
I can't wait for you to see how that plays out.
We get to see 8 turn into 8
Oh
and a
no,
half?
I was saying I thought you were talking about 11. I'm sorry.
That too. I mean, hey, it works both ways.
Yeah, because we did get to see a little bit of 8 turning into grizzled old man.
We did. I mean, we saw 8 turning into War Doctor, but War Doctor is of no definitive age when.
Yeah, but we do get a little bit. Matt Smith definitely has a little boy energy too.
I suppose that statement can also works in the context of 8 or of 11 turning into 12.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing that, but we're again getting ahead of ourselves.
And I was specifically talking about 8 turning into
the War Doctor.
Yeah,
8.5.
Yeah, we'll refer to him as 8.5 because it's disrespectful to Christopher Eccleston to call him 9 because he's not.
We zoom into the painting and we see the War Doctor basically take hand me your gun. I need to put graffiti on the wall.
Yeah, and also we do have another. I didn't keep a Dalek body count this time, because there simply was too many.
Yeah, I do think it's really funny. It's the first time we've ever seen the TARDIS used as a weapon, by which I mean it's just used as a battering ram to knock Daleks over.
My favorite is this is the first time we've seen Daleks get sliced like they were in a cartoon. Because they didn't explode. Their heads and bodies were sliced in twain.
That's why they were so into Queen Elizabeth. They were really into off with their head this story.
Jesus. And also, we did get another confirmation. I think Daleks during and then pre-Time War were just easy to bully. You just push those fools over. They're fine.
And then we find that this War Council of Gallifrey has discovered that someone has broken into I think what they called it, the Omega Archive.
How did the one exist so deep under Utah? I'm sorry, I'm thinking about Daleks. And I'm thinking, if they're so easy to bully, how was that one so strong?
They just pushed it to Utah.
No, he was so strong, though.
Well, remember, he wasn't until he got touched. He had to absorb some life force. That's one thing I really like.
You
is
got a little sip of you juice.
speaking of that episode, a nice little touch when all the Daleks blow themselves up and start scattering off. The one that like zooms towards us still has a little light going in it, indicating that the Dalek flying towards the camera is alive. Which is probably the Dalek from Dalek.
Anyways,
so they fly in and they find out the Doctor has basically broken into the Omega archive.
Yeah.
Call back to a previous anniversary special. And
wow, it's like you planned for that.
I did plan for it. Actually, can I tell you the funny thing? I didn't pick up on that the first like couple times I watched this. It took so many times for me to get that.
Oh my god.
And they come out with the only weapon they wouldn't use in the war, called the Moment, which is that's also D&D bullshit. That's all. Actually, you know what that is? That's some anime bullshit.
Yeah, I was gonna say if it was more D&D, I am stuttering so bad today. Brain not working properly. I apologize, but actually, I apologize for nothing. Yeah, very anime. If it was in D&D, it definitely would have some elaborate beast attached to it.
And well, this does have an elaborate beast attached to it. The elaborate beast known as Bad Wolf.
Known as Billy Piper.
Yeah.
Do you know how excited I got when I saw her name roll by in like the opening credits?
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Rose. I did almost, one of the fancy questions I was thinking about asking you was, Billy Piper is in this, but Rose Tyler is still in a parallel universe. How do you think that works out? But I was like, that's too unfair.
That is very unfair.
Yeah, so that's why
if
I tossed the
you had
question.
said a companion comes back, which one?
Yeah,
Still would have been unfair because I only remember Susan. And we have said multiple occasions, Susan does not come back. Omega.
So he carries this big box into this like shed and is like,
he walks.
How do
He has walked seemingly all the way across the desert. Bitch, that was like maybe 15 feet.
Well, Bad Wolf, the Moment rather, says, you walked away from the TARDIS for miles and miles. Do you not want her to see you do this? And I think that's really like, oh, even he knows what he's about to do is fucked up. And he's like, I don't want comfort right now. Anyone looking at me will only judge me.
Why do they all have to be built like this? Can't there just be a big red button?
I do look at it. It looks like a big puzzle cube.
Yeah, absolutely.
You remember the beginning of Glass Onion, where they all get those big packages in the mail?
Yeah.
And that's what it looks like. It looks like one of those. He's like, why can't there just be a big button? And instead of getting a big button, he gets the big bad wolf as Billy Piper is like just sitting on it. Hi. And he's like, get off that. I don't like that he doesn't question where she came from. He just goes, get off of that. That's not a chair. And she goes, why can't it be a chair? It's a great weapon and it can be a chair. Cheeky Faye bullshit. I would like the moment where she's like, I picked this form just for you. It's from your past.
Or your future.
I always get those mixed up. I do. There's a part of it that where I'm like, that feels like a stupid bit. But also there's a part of it that's like, can you imagine being so powerful you can't perceive the past and future as being different things anymore?
Oh my God, I would love that.
Just all time.
I could remember what I did 10 years from now and like
10 years ago.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't know which is which anymore.
Love that. The consequences of being whimsical. Time means nothing.
The Moment goes, well, if I'm going to have to show you who you turn into then. Very like Christmas Carol of her. You're like,
it is very Christmas Carol of her.
And so here I go. I'm going to open a hole in time.
I'm going to tear time. Shoop.
And out of the hole pops out a fez. And she goes, okay, didn't expect that. I love Billy Piper's performance as the Moment so much. Mm-hmm. I feel like it just really uses a lot of her comedic chops in a way that Rose Tyler didn't get to do.
Well, I like it because it's like, oh, sick. Like we get to see Rose, but we're not actually seeing Rose.
Yeah. And
we're getting something that looks like Rose and sounds like her, but is not.
It is kind of sad that she doesn't get to have any kind of scene with David Tennant at all.
I know.
Not.
Yes, but
not
we
do not acting together anyway.
Not together, but we did get some very like it was a really nice like moment of any time he would cross in front of her, like she would just kind of like give him a lingering stare.
Uh-huh.
I was like, oh, nice. The Temple girlies love that. Is this the moment, or is this Rose Tyler just being a stink?
In that moment, we find that time hole opened up to David Tennant, who is currently gallivanting with Queen Elizabeth I.
In England, 1562 or 1652?
I think it would definitely be 1562. And they're gallivanting about, and the Doctor is convinced that Queen Elizabeth is actually a Zygon, not realizing that the Zygon was the horse he rode in on.
Which is that's so stupid. It's stupid and silly in a way that I really like, because he got outsmarted by a horse. You know,
he
the
should have known
Doctor,
something was up when that horse wasn't moving in L shapes.
There's something about 10 and horses that just is so, because he had
something about 10 royals and horses all coming together.
There's something about it. It's good. That is comedy gold, especially since he is absolutely convinced that this Elizabeth is in fact a clone, and so he's like romancing her.
Yeah,
being like,
let's have a picnic. Let's have a picnic together out here.
She doesn't know that I know what she is.
And then, like, very dramatically goes, "Will you marry me?" And she's like, "Oh yes, of course I will." He's like, I got you." Oh, it was the horse. I really like the way he like the punchline of that moment. He goes, "Oh, it was the horse." And he turns back to Elizabeth. "I'm gonna be king."
I also appreciate, skipping forward, that their wedding is literally it's just outside of the castle.
It's just outside of the castle.
There's a tent, there's a priest, and then
Clara's throwing red something at them.
Yeah, Clara, and then War Doctor and 11 are witnesses. Those are the only people in attendance, which I think is so funny. They did the Elizabethan equivalent of going to Vegas and eloping.
So we have answered the two Profassi questions here. You were correct with one of them. Zygons do shapeshift, but the reason the Queen Elizabeth hates the Doctor is the Doctor stood her up on their wedding day. Just skedaddle on out of there. It's like, "I will be right back," and then he wasn't.
See, I could argue that he did see something he shouldn't have, as in his own marriage with the Queen. Oopsie doodle.
He did see something he shouldn't have. The venom sacs in the Zygon Queen's tongue.
Yeah, see, I still think I get that point.
And so they're gallivanting about for a bit, trying to evade this Zygon. The Doctor eventually threatens a bunny rabbit.
Love. Bunny rabbit minding its own business. I know it was a paid actor, but I'm also like, what if they just found it?
That was just something they did on the day.
Yeah, it was digging in a stump and just eating moss.
I do enjoy that little dig at the way David Tennant monologued. Was always like, I am the Doctor. I am the last survivor.
I am time. I am fear itself.
I am the oncoming storm. I am the last survival of Gallifrey. And you are basically just a rabbit, aren't you?
Yep.
And it's
just absolutely.
Yeah, what's up, Doc?
David Tennant versus Mel Blanc. Oh. Anyways,
they eventually stop in the woods where the hole opens up between Matt Smith and David Tennant, and so through that hole, Matt Smith has been guided through the National Archives to look at all of the things into the undergallery where the Queen kept all the art that was deemed too dangerous for human consumption.
You know, it is nice though that those holes could just kind of pop up anywhere, almost like the portable holes.
All the cartoon references we can make. Please come in and save the day, Doctor.
All of the cartoon rabbit references we can make. I'm sorry. I just really wanted to say that I got a portable hole because we were talking about bunnies.
And so the Doctor's being led through the the gallery. He's like, huh, there's a bunch of dust all over the ground. That's kind of weird, right? Here, you. And he points to Osgood. And he goes, are you Sciencey? And she goes, yes. He's like, have you got a name? Yes. Excellent. I've always wanted to meet someone called Yes. Which, have I got a band to introduce him to?
Here's the thing is I went, oh, fuck, these statues are covered. Oh, no. Oh, God, I wasn't expecting this episode to make this turn. Fully anticipating that they were going to be weeping angels.
I mean, they were deemed too dangerous for human consumption. So
I know. That's why I was like, I don't know if weeping angels can move if they're covered. Like, I've never seen.
I guess they would only be able to move because they can't be seen.
Well, yeah, but then if you can't perceive an angel, does it really exist?
If you take away the image of an angel, does it stop being an angel?
Exactly. I was like, oh man, if you walk into a room with weeping angels covered in shrouds.
And I like that for some reason this undergallery has.
But it wasn't weeping angels, which still does make me a little disappointed. And also, those statues, if they were turned to sand, those freaking Zygons beat them to a pulp.
It didn't just like
they
smash
tried
them.
to turn them into statue mochi.
They turned them into protein powder.
Jeez Louise.
If they were weeping angels, oof. The Zygons would be terrifying.
The particle of an angel becomes an angel.
It's just all that dust that poured out of Amy's eye that one time.
Oh my God. You look at the dust for too long and then you're transported to like 10 minutes ago. They can't transfer you too far back because it's just dust.
I like that in this undergallery where they keep all this dangerous art, they also keep a fez under a glass like cloche. Just to give Matt Smith the opportunity to be like, ooh.
I do like that Matt Smith, no matter how hard he tries, cannot maintain a hat.
I like that he puts it on and he sort of looks at Clara like, eh? It's like, I think that's my favorite pose he does.
That's one of your favorite things in general is that ham bony, like, eh?
So what do you think? And eventually they get eventually they find their way to the little wormhole that connects Matt Smith to David Tennant, and Matt's test is to throw the fez in there and then jumps in, and then we get the sonic screwdriver measuring contest between 10 and 11.
Yep.
What did you have any thoughts on seeing Smith and Tennant interacting for the first time?
My only thought was, oh, these both, like, they're both like whimsy boys. Like there was something where it was entertaining to watch just because since we have been watching so many other anniversary specials and seeing doctors interact, each one is very different from the other. Mm-hmm. So like, especially going from Troughton to Pertwee, it's like, oh, that is a monumental difference.
Yeah. I mean, there's the nice thing about them is that you do see, like, because I feel like 10 and 11 do have very similar vibes and they're like boyish charm. But when you see them together, you're like, oh, they do have a different vibe. It's just you don't see until they're next to each other.
They do, but they don't. Like, they're in my head, they are both like noodle boys, but 11 makes it a point to refer to 10 as, quote, a matchstick man.
He's like, oh, that is skinny. That is proper skinny.
Yeah. And I was like, dude, you are also like very skinny man. You're just tall.
I do like that he goes, oops, I'm wearing sand shoes. He's going to have to make a dig at just even the most base elements of him.
By that, they meant like tennis shoes, yeah?
Yeah, he's wearing Converse.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. All Converse are, I guess, meant to be walked in sand, I guess.
They have holes in the sides of them. That is the worst thing you could do in a pair of Converse. That's what I was trying to unpack the entire time. I went, where are we? Is that like a British thing to call them sand shoes instead of tennis sneakers or tennies?
I don't know.
I grew up calling them tennies.
I guess, actually, here, I can look it up real quick.
Yeah, we have the internet on our side. We have God and AI.
Oh, so apparently, this is a joke about David Tennant being Scottish. Sand shoes are the shoes kids wear at PE class when they're in elementary school. Basically, he's calling him a kid. He's calling him a big child.
Oh, well, they're both big children.
Yes.
Next.
I think that was both of them. I think that was them trying to take jabs at one another, because the way they like both realize they're the Doctor is by pulling out their sonic screwdriver, and Matt Smith instinctively like flicks his out.
I will say I did appreciate that because they are very similar.
Mm-hmm.
They did take advantage of that and then make them move in unison. Which I went, at least we're aware.
These quirked up white boys.
At least we're making it into a joke, because having them be very similar did lend itself very well to this, because then you do have War Doctor looking at them both saying, like, you are what I become. Why are you both acting so childish? Why are you both avoiding?
I like him specifically. Am I having a midlife crisis?
You know, because there's something where I'm like, oh my God, like, this is the script that really only works if you don't have Eccleston. Because Eccleston truly is the most perfect, like, coming out of the choices of the Time War.
Yeah, my understanding is Moffat was always Moffat seemed to be aware the entire time that Eccleston was probably not going to, but he wasn't going to tell Eccleston no if he decided to come in.
Yeah.
So I think he had been kind of like riding this line. I think that's why he made Eccleston make a decision. Because there have been some like not leaked drafts, but there have been some story notes that came out, and the general vibe of the story was the same, but the War Doctor in particular was approaching different things. Now, Moffat also liked having the War Doctor because Eccleston's first episode, he like looks in the mirror and remarks on his ears. He's like, oh, it could have turned out worse. Like, he's just a fresh regeneration in that moment. So he liked that. He was like, it felt good being able to have someone else in this moment, because I get to keep that moment as him being a fresh Doctor.
Yeah.
I don't accidentally like make some weird continuity error.
Yeah.
In this moment, as the two Doctors are interacting, Kate Stewart walks away. Is like, I'm going to need some files from the 70s and 80s. There are multiple Doctors right now, and we have some moments in the past I can reference this for. And then when John Hurt shows up in that group, Clara goes, there's 3 of them, and Kate goes, there's precedent for that.
I missed that. I must have been writing down one of my 5 notes.
It's also a really blink and you miss it kind of delivery. Like she just goes, oh, there's precedent for that. Like I don't think she's even on screen. She's just kind of walking.
I like Kate. I wish that there was more of her.
Kate will keep coming back. Kate,
okay, good.
Kate is still in the show now.
Okay, good.
Yeah, she will be around for a while.
Well, like, not in the same way that the Brigadier was.
Not
where it was like, I feel like in that era, you had a Brigadier in every episode.
Yeah, we don't get Kurt. We don't get the Brigadier. We don't get Kate Stewart like every episode, but she exists at least in most seasons from now until then. And she's around for a while.
Okay. She has tenure.
Yeah, she has tenure for sure. You will get to see more of her. I also there a lot of little jabs that they do where at one point Matt Smith like whispers to Tennant, brave words, Dick Van Dyke. A little jab at his British accent. Or where Matt Smith makes some allusion to timey-wimey, and John Hurt's like, timey what? And then David Tennant's like, I have no idea where he picks that stuff up. I saw you get this like almost SpongeBob kind of grin on your face when he said that. Like, you didn't laugh, but you did go.
Well, because it does, like, you very conveniently circled me right back to the original point I was talking about. There is something to be said of the Doctor. I just wrote down the note, therapy and avoidance.
The Doctor cannot afford therapy.
Well, that's the thing, though, is I do like it posed a very interesting question to myself of like, what moment in, and it not me necessarily, but just like the royal me, you know, apply this to yourself, listener, apply this to yourself as well. Is there a moment in my own past where if my past saw my future self, it would go, what the fuck happened? And it was just a very interesting thing of like, oh my God, yeah, like this is a very unique circumstance where you do get to see somebody confronting their future selves and wondering what happened perhaps like, where did I go wrong? Or like, what led me to do this? What led me to become a flippant, avoidant, childlike whimsy man? I have the weight of a war on my shoulders. I think this is where the comparison can stop, because I don't think most of us are responsible for ending
billions
wars.
of lives. Yeah.
But there was something there is something there where I'm like, oh my God, they're doing like trauma levels of therapy right now. This is like a Pixar movie. We're going through generational trauma right now, but with one person. Okay. Because then it also is really helpful that you have Clara there, who is, I think, the most like emotionally balanced of all companions.
Mm-hmm.
Clara seems to be the one that is the most concerned with keeping herself alive.
Mm-hmm.
But also,
Clara maxed out her wisdom stat for sure.
Yes. And even though she is and isn't Rose,
Mm-hmm.
you do have this really nice moment where you have doctors past and present, but then you also have companions past and present,
Mm-hmm.
all having this conversation ongoing throughout the episode of what happened, what did I do, why did I do it?
Mm-hmm.
It's just very interesting.
Yeah, I think John Hurt also makes for a really great contrast to them. Not just
I would really love to watch John Hurt play Scrooge. I think he'd do a really wonderful job. I would be shocked if he hasn't at some point.
I cannot find any specific instance of him having played Scrooge. I do think he would have done a great job. I mean, obviously John Hurt was a great actor, and I think
I'm sure that we can pretend that there was like a community playhouse version.
I mean, maybe he did a theater. I don't want to,
for like a charity or something.
Yeah, maybe he did something in theater. I was looking at his film and television credits, but I think he does a great job. He brings a level of like sobriety to otherwise like this really goofy romp the other two are going on.
Yes.
He's like he finds a way to bring the sobriety while also delivering sci-fi gobbledygook.
Mm-hmm.
Which, okay, so Matt Smith and David Tennant have said that, you know, over the course of them doing the show, as they've interacted with numerous other actors, some actors come in and they just get it. Like, they understand Doctor Who, the premise, the like weird sci-fi nature of it.
Do we know if John Hurt was a fan of Doctor Who before doing this?
Well, that's the thing. David, like, so they were having this. So this is like an interview clip they were having together, and so they were talking about how, you know, some actors come in and they understand all the assignment right away, and John Hurt absolutely was not one of those actors. He's like, he doesn't understand what's going on in terms of like.
So no,
he was not. If he was he might have like known about it because it was a big British tentpole. But as far as I can tell, he's not like a hard sci-fi kind of guy.
Okay, so the way that I'm seeing now is he is to Doctor Who as I am to Taylor Swift.
You're probably not wrong. What they were specifically making the remark, and like, he didn't understand what was going on half the time, and he still gave a performance that knocked the both of us on our asses.
That's just called being an outstanding actor.
Like, he knew what he had to do.
That's knowing how to do your job.
Yeah.
That is going in and being the best barista in a cafe you've never worked in.
Yeah, I think so. I think, again, real huge commendation to him. I do think it's very funny that he signed up for this giant tentpole 50th anniversary project and apparently didn't really seem to know much about Doctor Who at all.
Hey, gig's a gig.
Yeah, I mean, he says words like Gallifrey and TARDIS and stasis cubes. Like, he says all of it with like a very sincere authority. Like, there's not a moment in it where you don't buy it.
It's the marks of being a talented actor.
Yes, he's an incredibly talented actor. And so
we
I
can
really
show this in acting classes.
Yeah, and I really like when they all get arrested and taken to the Tower of London. I think that's probably the moment for me. Well, there's two moments that really shine for John Hurt for me. This first one where they're all standing in the Tower of London, and the moment is starting to make this big point about, you know, it's all the same. You all have the same sonic screwdriver. It's the same software. You just put different. You're putting different cases on it, which was a metaphor for how all three of them are the same person, just with different faces.
I think it also helps too that, yes, yes, John Hurt is playing a version of a doctor, or like the version of the Doctor that had to do
a genocide.
Yeah, to do a genocide.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's something to be said too of like, yes, this Doctor is the Doctor, but there's also a degree of like, because he is not interacting with any of his past selves, he's only interacting with the future selves. There is a certain quality or like a certain sense of newness that makes sense for somebody that is being introduced into a situation as John Hurt is being introduced into the world of Doctor Who. So perhaps that like naivete and that newness benefits him well in this.
Oh, geez.
And also them are...
My notes app has decided to copy down the last chunk of our conversation.
Fantastic. This is going to be the only episode that's been transcribed. While they're having this conversation, though, I do like that 11 is in the background carving into the Tower of London.
Yeah, carving coordinates for presumably for Kate to use the little time bracelet left by Jack Harkness on the event of his death. Well, one of them. Well, because you know when he dies.
Yeah. I'm gonna die angry about that.
What, you don't like the face of Bo? I think you love the face of Bo.
Zach, I'm gonna ask you to stop talking on this podcast. I'm gonna need you to zip it.
The rest of the podcast is just you talking and me being dead silent.
That didn't exist. I don't know what on earth you were talking about. Jack Harkness could come back at any time. You don't know. He's a space time traveler. I do like that they're like, oh yeah, it's Jack Harkness's like special secret bracelet. We keep it locked up in here. Could you imagine if people could change the world? Could you imagine if the U.S. got a hold of this? And I'm like, you are right for hiding it.
Especially the Americans right now.
You are absolutely correct for keeping that away from us.
Yeah.
Because if I had it, I would just go back in time to like 2 months ago and tell myself, hey, stop taking the day off.
Yeah,
Not going back and rewriting the framework of history and turning our free nation into...
You've got real Cher levels of like what you would do if you could turn back time.
Cher. Here's the thing. I didn't know if you meant the singer or the Horowitz.
Yeah, no, Cher's whole vibe of, if I could turn back time, she'd go fix her relationship with her boyfriend. And I'm going, no, Cher, priorities. Kill baby Hitler, then you get your boyfriend back.
It wasn't Hitler, though. He was just the figurehead. All of World War II, Heinrich Himmler. Don't get me started on this.
I activated Cassie's boomer
my
dadism.
God. You've awakened the beast. We are not going to make this into a World War II.
A beast named Roger with back problems.
No, if my dad name, like, did I ever tell you what my
I don't think so, no.
If I was not born into the body of a human girl, my name would have been Cameron. So I'm Papa Cam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm Daddy Cam. Do not get me started on this. Hitler, yes, bad man. Heinrich Himmler, worse.
So yes, Kate,
absolute terrible man. We are not going to keep on going into this, but don't you dare say anything like that again, or else I'm going to turn this car right around.
So Kate leads Clara down into the Black Archive.
Why's it got to be black?
Which has memory filters in it, so people have their minds erased every day at the end of a shift.
Yeah, to which I responded, how does anything get done?
I mean, it's 50 First Dates, Cassie. It's just got to be...
To which I said, Zach, how does anything get done?
So they...
To which I said, Zach, how does anything get done?
They just go home and Adam Sandler plays songs to them on a ukulele. And
he makes some VHS tapes every single day to document what happened.
Yeah, so
it's not every day. It's like one a year, I think. In the lore.
But I mean, in fairness, his job is just to kind of sit there.
It's fair.
Just to watch the door. You don't have to do anything else. And he goes, hi, ma'am, it's my first day. And Kate leans in. He's been here 10 years. Does he get it? Is it weird for him that he has health insurance for a job he keeps thinking is only his first day?
Is it weird for him to go into work every day being like,
it's UK, never mind.
Ah, man, my first day. Do you think his wife is like, okay, honey, whatever you do,
Oh, my first day. And everyone here knows my name already.
whatever you have to do to get through.
He keeps just getting new jobs. I don't know what's up.
Yeah, he keeps telling himself that it's his first. I mean, I used to do that as a barista where did I ever tell you about that?
I don't think so.
If people were like really angry at me, I would, and I knew that they weren't regulars, and I knew like if there was a regular around that they would just like get it. If somebody was really pissing me off, I'd just be like, I'm so sorry, it's my first day. Like I'm new here. Like, thank you so much for your patience. Like, I really appreciate that as somebody who was a brand new barista. And then I'd see one of my regulars just like smirking behind them because they knew I had been there for 3 years. It was not my first day. But sometimes you would just have to go into work being like, golly gee, it's my first.
I'm just a little guy here on my first day.
You got to be kind to me. It's my first day.
I never even seen the inside of a cafe before. Is this that coffee liquid they're talking about? I'd love a little sippy-roo.
Yeah.
This is a voice I actually make at work when I want to be adorable.
Me being a grizzled veteran barista, just
yeah. What do you want? You want a coffee? Black? Here you go.
Sometimes I miss it. Not all the time, but sometimes.
And so Kate's leading her through the black archive, and Clara's like, "Why are you just letting me in here?" And so Kate's like, "Oh, well, you have top level clearance from your last time here." Which is, I think that's a great joke.
I like that they have photos to prove it. It's
photos from the VHS tapes Adam Sandler's making.
Yeah. It's not that it's said, it's also the like, here we have photocopy evidence. That's the part that kills me.
Yeah,
they went, let's have a Charlie
They took the
style.
pictures and they put it up on a corkboard.
Yeah, here, let me say my joke. They have a Charlie style board where they have string and photos connecting one thing to another.
And they all lead to Pepe Sylvia.
Yeah, the only thing we're missing is Kate standing in front of it maniacally.
But speaking of Kate getting maniacal, they get into where the little time bracelet that Captain Jack donated upon the event of his death. And Kate, all these other people start coming together. So she's like, oh, they're probably just back from exterminating the humans. Oops, I said too much. I do get into character, don't I? Well, you cheeky bitch.
I mean, if I was a shape-changing alien, I would do the same thing.
And then we watch quite a like visceral shape change from Kate into the Zygon. It's like you see like little puffs appear on her hands.
You see it in her neck first.
Yeah.
She gets a very Trumpian neck going on.
Yeah, real turkey waddler.
Yeah, a real turkey grizzled, red, inflamed, infected, disgusting.
And so she transforms like very slowly and then all at once, presumably because their heads are so big. Their heads are so big.
Here's the thing with that particular makeup. I'm like, it's impressive. You literally just look like if I was giving a presentation at a school of what a tongue looks like. But I still want the children to see my human face.
Like a dentist coming by to like give a demonstration on oral health and they need someone to dress as a tongue.
Yeah, like that's what it looked like to me. The general shape, the general... It's any time that a makeup still employs the use of the human face looking as is and doesn't really do a whole bunch to like change it.
They start having a moment of like, well, we're going to get the activation code soon. We're going to control all of time. And Clara's like, oh, these activation codes... Bye.
Yeah, she already knows what to do. Smart, clever girl. We love Clara.
And then Clara breaks them out of the cell that wasn't locked.
Yeah.
Because Elizabeth just wanted to see what they would do.
Which also, that's some DM bullshit. She being like, oh, I put you in a locked room, quote unquote, to see what you would do. I do like, though, that moment does set up the precedent for later events. I was like, this is just a silly bit. But then when it comes up again later, I went, oh, we saw that because it's important.
Yeah, they found a way to like turn this like really dramatic moment into a bit and then like twist it a little further into like an even bigger moment. And I like that.
I enjoy when shows and movies do that
Mm-hmm.
because it could just be a drive-by like silly goofy knee slap moment where it's like, oh, we just saw three geniuses struggling over an unlocked door.
Yeah.
But them being able to take what they learned in that moment and apply it to later events.
Clara really is a teacher.
She is.
So they run back into the TARDIS, and the TARDIS is having desktop issues where it flips between 10's like grunge era, as they call it, and then it flips into like the round things
10
white
is
era.
the most hot topic of the Doctors, isn't he?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, you gotta remember that the time he was on the show was
Hot topic era.
yeah, it was like 2010. Like that was the era he was on. So yeah, it makes sense. Or no, it would have been 2006, 2008.
Yeah.
So that was the right era for that, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
He was the Doctor during the pop punk revolution
Oh my God. I miss that era of Hot
when he was a
Topic.
young boy.
And his father.
Took him into the city.
Does he have marching band?
And I hope you didn't say anything weird to him after that.
Anyways.
And then of course it flips into Matt Smith's TARDIS. I wish it had flipped into his previous TARDIS just for a moment. Or alternatively, if John Hurt's TARDIS had flipped into the Paul McGann's beautiful TARDIS.
Oh my God. Into his library of antiquities.
Instead, it's just like an LED lit room with
What's
like
with all the circles? What are the circles? I don't know.
and then cuts to Matt Smith's new TARDIS, and he goes, "Oh, you've redecorated. I don't like it."
That's it. What's a shame now is that is a quote that is now like snuggled into my brain like a botfly. So you know that the second I say it in real life, I'm just going to hurt somebody's feelings.
See, you got to imagine that David Tennant, as like Mecha Doctor Who fan that he is, read that and went, I get to say the thing.
Watch out, you're going to call one of the cats.
And so they're like, well, we can't get into the Black Archive. It's TARDIS proof. And then someone goes, what if we went in through a painting?
Yep, call back. Haha. You remember this like cube orb that I've had on this TARDIS the whole time? What if I use that?
What if I use that to stuff us in a painting, and then while we're in the painting, we can turn around and push a Dalek back real hard?
I do like that when they're in the painting, though, they do use the old school air sirens. And I went, okay, we are doing a World War II thing. Got it. Because it is a mass genocide and you have Nazis there.
Mm-hmm. And then, so they activate three sonic screwdrivers, which seems to somehow make like a barrier, and that barrier then pushes.
I assumed it was I assumed it was the magic of friendship. There is nothing funnier to me though than Dalek making human noises.
Like a Dalek panicking is really funny.
Oh my God. Hey, Dalek. Yes.
Flying out of a painting, smashing in half.
I wish I had the thing.
While they're doing this, Kate has decided that the best thing she could do is blow up a nuke beneath London to eliminate the Zygons.
It's also the way that we get, for a very split second, a callback to the phone call that one, like, tech answered.
Yeah. The way they, without getting that other half of the conversation, there's part of it that almost feels like menacing about it. Like, ooh, there's something mysterious happening. You're like, oh no, the Doctor's just being a goof, telling them to move the painting down to the Black Archive.
Good old Docky, who always knows how to be stinky.
So Kate has decided that she's going to blow up London with a nuke to eliminate the Zygons.
That's some cartoon logic,
And
man.
the Zygons have decided their best form of action is to disguise themselves as the other humans here in the room. And just seemingly just to be stinky. Like, there doesn't seem to be any reason for it. It's like, do you mind if I get comfortable? Oh, look, I have your heels now. Aren't I so comfortable?
I like that later on one of them does acknowledge of like, so if my clothes are my skin, what happens like if I take off a shoe? Like, what does happen? Let's find out.
And so the Doctor decides to save the day by having everyone in the room forget if they're human or Zygon, so they have perfect terms of agreement. So they come up with the perfect treaty where one side won't get more than the other, which I don't know if that's how that would work, Doctor, but okay.
No. No.
For the sake of the children's show, yes, it works.
Yes, for the sake of this being a family programming, and also the reality of the situation is that is not the main issue of this episode. It's impending genocide and whether or not we want to do that.
And so while they're having this discussion, we get my other favorite moment. Before I say that, we do get the nice little moment you were talking about where both 10 and 11 like slide some chairs over and they pop their feet up on the table in perfect synchronization.
Yeah. Do you think they just did that? I don't want to know the actual answer. I
Here's
think
the question. If they didn't do that, how many takes do you think it took them to get that right?
Do you think it was their idea or the director's? I think it was theirs.
I think it was Moffat's.
Agreed to disagree.
And so they all decide that I do like that setup of this room is full of memory filters and the doctors are like, oh, you mean these memory filters? And so that's what they trigger when they activate all their sonic screwdrivers. I do like the little boyish grin on John Hurt's face as he's like, we're saving the day. I don't get to do this.
Teehee, I get to be a hero.
And so while the Zygons and the humans are discussing their treaty, their plans, their agreements, for some reason, the War Doctor has decided just to find a comfy little chair and drink himself some tea.
A hot cup of tea.
I don't know where he got that, but it's down there.
Hey,
do you think one of the alien weapons down there just makes hot tea and the Doctor had to tell them that?
It's Unit taking out that really cool eating food Spy Kidsian food microwave out of the TARDIS. That's why it's not there anymore. Unit took it. They went, we like this. We want this particular tech for ourselves. Please. Mm-hmm. Thank you. That is why it is no longer in the TARDIS. That is my headcanon. Moving on. And
we get my other favorite moment with John Hurt playing the War Doctor is him talking with Clara in this moment as he goes, how many lives do you think have been saved by their regret for what I did? And I think there is something to be said of that. Like a lot of what the Doctor does, especially these last few seasons, has all been trying to like correct the error that he made. Mm-hmm.
His kindness has been built from regret.
Yeah, I think a lot of, especially David Tennant's era, was sort of run by this idea of a man who is like running away from the way he feels about himself.
It's his own like act of penance.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I think it's great. It's a very Catholic mentality.
It really is. It's I've done something horrible. Let me spend the rest of my like eternal life making up for my actions and saving as many people as I could, as I can, because I wasn't able to before.
And it's interesting that like that moment makes John Hurt actually resolved to do it. Like it sort of loops him back around to being like, oh, if like knowing that what I have done actually leads to something good makes me want to do it, which is the opposite of what the moment was trying to teach.
Yeah. And
so when he comes back in, the moment has turned herself into a big red button that will just blow up all the Time Lords and the Daleks.
It's not any old button though. They got one of those like diamond paperweights. And I went, the moment didn't go, let me get you a big red button. She went, you wanted a big red button? I said, you wanted
Make it extra.
You wanted a big red button, bitch. Here you go, queen.
Be ready for your big red button, bitch.
Yep.
It's beautiful.
Boisterous even. Anyways.
I started getting really emotional when the moment looks at him and goes, you know that wheezing, groaning sound the TARDIS makes? That's a sound that brings hope wherever it goes. And John Hurt's like, I like to think it does.
to everyone who hears it.
No matter how lost, even you. And I'm like, eh.
Well, because then you kind of start to hear it. And then for a split second, you go, oh, that must be my brain remembering that particular sound.
Yeah.
And then you go, oh, no, it's happening.
Yeah, and the two TARDISes both appear. I like how they don't even we don't need to explain how they even knew to leave. We don't know what happened in the last few minutes. We don't know if they went on several adventures together and then popped up here, but they both show up. I love how they make the TARDISes all look different.
Yeah,
like they're all the same machine.
Fundamentally, they are the same, but each iteration of the TARDIS is different.
Yes. And not just like the outside, like obviously there's the outside aesthetic of Matt Smith's had to go through its own regeneration at the beginning of his era because 10's effectively blows up. So the TARDIS has to regenerate itself. So his looks like polished and new and clean while Tennant's looks dirtier, but the lights inside them are also different. The light inside Tennant's is much warmer, reminiscent of that like grungy aesthetic he has in there. Well, meanwhile, Matt Smith has a very like polished aesthetic for the TARDIS.
It's the difference between incandescent and LED lights.
Yes, exactly.
Effectively, Tenet has a 2005 Honda Civic and 11 has a Cybertruck. I don't make the rules.
God, I would hate to sick a Cybertruck on the Doctor. That's terrible.
Am I wrong?
I mean, it is brutal. Does have a lot of sharp angles.
Yes. The TARDIS is a smart car.
And so they both step out and they all agree as like a trio to do it together. Like we have like, we're not going you shouldn't do this alone.
Yeah.
And one thing I really admire about Moffat's writing, it's something that I don't see a lot of other writers do. He will come to a conclusion where most stories would be satisfied and then twist that one step further. Like, I feel like there's definitely a version of this where the story ends with the three of them just deciding you shouldn't do this alone.
Well, because that's also the story that we as the audience are used to seeing and are used to hearing from the show at this point.
Yeah.
Where everybody that is at least a watcher of the new who understands this reality. Yeah. And so it's something where it's like, God, yeah, this really sucks. The Doctor had to do this.
Yeah, this very bittersweet thing. And I like the thing that changes their mind is a thing that 8 didn't have when he regenerated. And as far as we could tell, John Hurt, and as far as we could tell, the War Doctor never had, which is a companion.
I wrote down, I forget who said, it might be the War Doctor. But one of them says if we do this and we failed doing the right thing. It's like, what a fucking yup. What a good line. What a good thing to write down and just keep that in my back little pocket.
If we stop this, we will have failed to do the right thing as opposed to succeeding doing the wrong one.
Yeah.
It was John Hurt and another great line.
Yeah, we failed doing the right thing because I'm going to therapy now, so a lot of
you're taking these nuggets as treasures for later.
Well, because there's also something to be said too of like, I feel like that is a very poignant lesson for it, not even just this show, and if we want to get touchy-feely for a second, just that there is a lot of times where like there is that inherent fear of, I don't want to do something if I don't know the outcome. Mm-hmm. I don't want to try and do something if I don't know how things are going to shake out and pan out. But then there's also something to be said of like, you won't know what is going to happen unless you do it. Mm-hmm. And so if you're going to do it, if you do the right thing and you do something that is true to you.
True to your heart. Must be true to your heart.
Yeah. Yeah. That even if you fail, at least you failed doing the right thing.
Yeah. I
it's
like
just a nice thing. It's also really nice that I was like, wow, what a really good therapy lesson. Zach, I look over and you were just yeah,
I like that I like that it's Clara. Clara's the one who's like basically has to bring the Doctor back down and be like,
Clara is like the most human.
Yeah. So I really enjoy this. So the Doctor's like, oh, if I can't do this, what do I do? And she's like, be a doctor. And I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to mean. I don't think. I don't think
be a healer. Be a person that comes in and says, oh, you're not bleeding, you're fine. You just have anxiety issues. Here, take this medicine. Yeah,
one of those where she's like, I don't know exactly how being a doctor winds up with the plan that they decide to have, but you know what? It's fine. Whatever.
Be a doctor. Be somebody who heals instead of hurts. Be a fucking doctor. What's not to get?
11 goes, I have had 400 years to think about this. I've changed my mind. And he closes the machine for them. And then they're like, and then he goes, there's a difference between now and then. There's 3 of us. And then they all eventually go, oh,
we're existing at the same time.
We're all figuring out the math problem at the same time because we couldn't figure out the answer, but as soon as one of us figured out the answer, it's like when someone solves the puzzle in Wheel of Fortune, we all, like, even if they haven't said it yet, we all get it immediately.
Yeah.
And then their plan is to basically take the planet
and put it over here
and put it in a little pocket dimension for a second. They're gonna stick it in a painting. They're gonna stick Gallifrey in a painting.
Which again, I'm like, God damn it! We learned about this episode, and we're applying what we immediately learned in this episode. But I'm having a good time. I'm gonna let this one pass.
Yeah,
this is fine.
And then the general, so the 3 of them show up and start talking to the War Council, and they're like, well, we have an idea that's crazy and almost certainly won't work, but we're going to try it anyway. Like, we're going to, and they explain the whole gobbledygook. We're going to move the planet out of the way so the Daleks will just will be caught in their own crossfire and blow themselves up.
We're going to move the planet far away to a place where even I won't know where it is. And I'm going to yell at myself through the screens, and then all at once, 13 at this point it'd be 11 others start popping up, and I went, yay!
Yeah,
they found a way to bring everybody.
Yeah, it was this moment where he goes, that sounds impossible. The calculations alone would take hundreds of years. And they go, oh, hundreds and hundreds. But I've been thinking about it for a long time. And then you hear William Hartnell's voice say, calling the War Council of Gallifrey, this is the Doctor. Question for you.
Yeah.
One never mentioned Gallifrey once.
No, he did not.
How do you think they did that?
Oh, I don't know. The same way that they did Rod Serling in Twilight Zone Tower of Terror.
You are correct.
Yay! They called the same guy.
Big Finish has done some First Doctor audio dramas, and they have a voice actor that sounds just fucking like Bill Hartnell.
Yep.
And so they used him for this, and they let him say that line. Everyone else's lines are lifted from their runs on the show.
Yeah.
You might have even noticed some, because some of them are from other anniversary specials.
Yeah.
Like 5 goes, soon be there is one that really stands out to me. But they're all sort of bringing in moments that are all it's
nice because I did have a moment where I was like, it's a shame that they are not calling in the other living actors who have been doctors to come in for the 50th. Like, that's just.
Yeah, I remember that being a big point of contention for people after. It was that some people who had been fans since the classic era were a little disappointed that this felt more like a send up for the modern show and not a send up for the show as a whole.
Again, I am very glad that they did find a way to shoehorn Baker.
Yeah.
Particularly since he's had a piss boy attitude. I'm really glad he's had a very positive character arc.
Yes.
And is behaving now.
You see little clips of them on the little circles on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
You see they're all moments from their own little runs of the show.
Well, because you do see little clips and moments, or not clips, but like photos and moments. This is a Easter egg jam-packed episode.
Yeah, I also really enjoy that. Much like when we saw that first anniversary special where they had as the power went down, the TV went from color to black and white so they could use the old footage.
Yeah.
In here, because they're all on screens, it doesn't matter what quality the footage is in because it's all been shrunk down onto these little screens anyway.
Screens, and there's noise on the screens as well, so it doesn't really.
And so the only Doctor that we really see doing their thing in the TARDIS besides our like 3 new ones is a clip of Eccleston being like, for my next trick.
Yep.
Which is also lifted from his run. But I am glad that they managed to find a way to squeeze everybody in there. I thought that was...
well, especially since at this point, if you had everybody, because if we have... or because 4 clearly is still living.
Mm-hmm.
5?
I mean, the only ones that are dead are 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
4. Yeah, 4...
I thought McCoy was also dead.
No, McCoy was in the Hobbit movies.
Oh my God, you're right.
He was Radagast the Brown. I believe the reason he was Radagast the Brown is because Peter Jackson is a big Doctor Who fan. Peter Jackson wants to direct an episode of Doctor Who. And they just
let him.
They just haven't made it work yet.
Let him direct.
Yeah. Peter Jackson. Yeah, Peter
let
Jackson
him
wants to
write
make
and
another
direct,
Doctor.
please. Oh my God. I know that it wouldn't because like it's not
It feels
like
weird. This is the first time I brought this up to you. I can't believe I haven't done that before.
well, we've never brought up Lord of the Rings and Doctor Who in the same thing. Zach, I'm very worried. I might also be a big dork dweeb. I've read The Hobbit like 3 times. Don't even at me.
Yeah, Peter Jackson wants to direct an episode of Doctor Who. It's been a thing on his list for a while.
Let him do it. Oh my God, please. Anyways, okay, I thought for some I was under the impression that he had passed. So if you did have though that many doctors though in one room, I do think we would get a case of too many cooks.
I do worry about that. They, without going too much into it, they have found not true multi-doctor stories, but they have found ways to do things with those actors as those doctors in unique. I mean, we won't see them for a few years. This is like the end of 13's run. But I really admire how Chris Chibnall found ways to include them later on, and we'll get to that when we get to it.
And it's not.
It doesn't feel like too many cooks. They found a really good way to execute it, in my opinion. Anyway, there's something about the like we've all come together and we're all working together and we're gonna save the day. That it's like I don't know what it is that just evoked this really strong emotion out of me. I was just like actively.
Because you even had said that you have not seen this and have not sat down to watch this in earnest in a very long time.
In a few years, for sure. So I do think there's an element of.
You're just remembering.
Yeah, I think there's an element of remembering
your past self watching this and feeling inspired. That is so sweet.
And also, I mean, there's also
Zach,
part of it
you're
where it's
like a great guy. You know that?
Thanks. I mean, I was going to say, there's also a part of it where like I'm getting to do this journey through Doctor Who again with you now.
Yeah, the most stubborn Who fan.
A Whovy-ish.
A Whovy meh.
Yeah,
like, I guess it's okay. I have strong opinions and I have my favorite doctor, but like, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, and they find a way to bring them all in. And he goes, "Oh, my worst nightmares at once. All 12 of them." And you go, "No, sir, all 13. And I saw him and you go, "Oh, neat."
I did.
And
they brought his angry eyes just in case.
Yeah, Peter Capaldi's attack eyebrows. Zooms in, just staring dead at the camera. That's all we get, though. They didn't want to spoil too much.
Well, no, but that's that's kind of all you need in that particular instance.
Yeah, and so they managed to do it. They managed to poof the Gallifrey out of space and time into a little stasis pod to do something. And then they all come back to the museum.
I do like that the main argument was just think of the children.
I do enjoy that they play with time in a different way than we were used to playing to it, where they were doing the sonic screwdriver thing where the screwdriver would perform a calculation for 100 years and eventually figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
This was the one time of like, 10 remembers something that 11 has willfully forgot.
Yeah.
And I think that's also an interesting way to play with time. It's because it's not just gaining; it's also loss that happens with time. So I thought that was an interesting moment. Anyway, back to plot time, where
they all end up back in the museum that both is and isn't a TARDIS in itself, as it also has the round things.
Yeah, they're all standing in the TARDIS,
and they all have like a proper teacup, which I think is the most British thing I've ever seen.
I do like that. The round things is a good like foreshadowing to who the curator of the museum is.
Yeah,
because the round things were also in Force TARDIS.
It was just a nice little like, not even a blink if you miss it. It's if you were paying attention.
Yeah. And so or
if you care very deeply about TARDIS interiors,
they do their like little plot tie up of like, oh yeah, we're not going to remember this, so don't worry, none of the episodes that you've already watched are any different. I like that the War Doctor is, well, if I grow up to be half the man that you are, Clara Oswald, then I shall be very happy indeed. And then he steps into then he goes, which one of these is mine? That feels like a D&D bit that I do.
Yeah.
Like, let's do it. We're gonna do a cheeky little bit.
I do like him just being like, oh man, this is gonna suck. I'm gonna have to live with the weight of my decision. Oh, that's why. As he starts regenerating in that moment,
that line that he says, "Wearing a bit thin," is a reference to the first Doctor. When the first Doctor regenerates into the second Doctor, his justification for that regeneration is that he is wearing a bit thin, which basically just means I've lived too long in this skin.
I mean, also considering too that, because I know we've had this discussion and it's been brought up a couple of times already in this very podcast, in this very episode, in this very room. We don't know how long War Doctor has been in this particular skin.
I have seen, we don't really know. We also don't know. There's also a theory that, you know, he might actually be not lived as long as Matt Smith Doctor does. There's a very real chance that the War Doctor was just sort of haggard by the time of being in the Time War.
I was going to say, I can imagine too that if you're living through something as stressful as
there's
a world war, literally.
There's also a moment where the Doctor's like, I'm 1200 unless I'm lying, which is like, I don't even remember. I can't even remember if I'm lying about how old I am anymore. That's how old I am.
Me, when I tell people that I'm way younger than I am.
Some people sort of took that as a theory that including the saying that the War Doctor was not the Doctor as they had been doing. Basically, they had decided those years didn't count. Like, so there's a theory that the War Doctor, that even though the Doctor, quote unquote, says he's 1200 years old, that might not be entirely true because the War Doctor clearly is quite aged.
Yeah.
In a way where Matt Smith has supposedly been around for 400 years and has not aged that much. So square that circle.
Yeah.
So the theory is that either after the Time War, they reset the count, or alternatively, the War Doctor, they just didn't count. They were just like, we don't count those years.
You exist now, literally in a pocket.
That was a leap year baby, that regeneration.
He's only 6 1/4.
And so he hops into his TARDIS, and I do like I don't know if you could tell it on our TV, but for a very brief moment, you can see Eccleston's eyes.
I did clock that because I was like, I don't think that they would make him look exactly like Eccleston.
Yeah, I do kind of wish that they had been able to bring in a proper regeneration scene for that, but since Eccleston wouldn't come back, I do think that was a good compromise.
Eccleston wouldn't come back as himself. He would come back as a mannequin.
Yeah, I do like that they found another nice compromise of just like, we don't want to erase Eccleston from this like moment because this would be a big deal for him. But so like just having like it being his eyes that come through.
Well, particularly since I think of the Doctors, he does have the most like piercing gaze.
Certainly up there. Capaldi might beat him now with his attack eyebrows, but
yeah.
And so David Tennant learns about going to Trenzalore, and he's like, we need a new destination. I don't want to go. Cheeky fuck. Yeah, and Matt goes, he always says that. Which I love. And Clara's like, do you need a moment alone with your painting? You got your big sad eyes going. I know you need a moment alone. I'm going to leave you alone. And that's when the curator steps out, and it's Tom. When did you realize? Was it not until you saw Tom's face that you realized it was him?
I had a feeling.
Okay.
I had a little bit of an inkling, like, oh, this is when we're going to bring back one of the classic Doctors, because Osgood is wearing
the scarf,
the McLong scarf. I was like, okay, cool. We've already set the precedent that there is. That could either be the only representation of 4 that we have, or this could be nice, cheeky foreshadowing, because at this point, all the classic Doctors are old men.
I do like, for me anyway, and this should just be the kind of nerd that I am. As soon as I heard, you know what, I really think you might.
Yep.
That was that's Tom Baker's voice.
Yeah.
There's only one person on the planet that sounds like that, and it's Tom Baker. Even my impression was not very good.
Yeah. Tom Baker may or may not actually be written by Lewis Carroll.
And so he says that
big Mad Hatter energy, that one.
He really does. With his like I said, with the cheeky double talk that we talked about earlier.
Eccentricities.
Basically sort of implying like, now your job is to go and find Gallifrey. It's out there somewhere. I think someone should do that, but who knows who should do that? who knows who should do that? And Matt Smith's like, okay, Dad, I'm going on an adventure.
Okay, me. Which I do like the logic of like, oh my God, Matt Smith grows up to be Tom Baker. He grows up to be himself.
What the thing that he says is you might try and revisit some faces in your old age, but just the old favorites, which is code for like me, David Tennant, you, probably David Tennant again.
Yes.
whoever answers our calls, really. And so I like that little moment. I enjoyed that little bit of, here's how your story could end that isn't Trenzalore.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you could die in a battle, leading millions, or you're a museum curator and you come here and you
curate
art pieces and revisit some old faces, but you just do your thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you retire as the great curator.
Oh, God,
And then so Matt Smith skips back into his TARDIS, and we see him again for the next Christmas special. So we still got one more adventure with Matt Smith here.
Okay.
Do you have any other final thoughts overall?
Overall, generally, I liked it.
Yeah, I think this was about as good as they could have done, given the hype a 50th anniversary is going to get.
Well, especially since and it was oh my God, it was a point that I had brought up, and I didn't quite say it as eloquently as I would have liked.
Mm-hmm.
Where because you saw it in a theater, that means that it was made to be theatrical. It was made to be very movie status, even if you don't consider it a film or a movie in that way, because it is an episode of television.
Mm-hmm.
There is a part of me that's like, no, it does play out though, rather like a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it does have this like big theatrical quality about it. Explosions, sweeping music, and callbacks and Easter eggs for people. But if you don't really fully understand what it is you're watching, you can still understand, oh, this is a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is something that I wouldn't say, oh, any old person could watch it. But if somebody like, say, my mom were to sit down and watch this with me,
Mm-hmm.
I think she would still understand, oh, this is a big deal for Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And even as a casual bystander, this is still something that I can respect and appreciate as being sacred to some.
Yeah, my brother, of all people, when he decided to start watching Doctor Who, this is what he decided to start to watch first. And he was like, I just didn't get it. I was like, of course you didn't get it. It's like starting with like Avengers Age of Ultron and trying to understand what's going on.
It's like non-Catholics making a pilgrimage to the Sistine Chapel and just going, wow, look at all the pretty art. And then all of the religious Catholics, even those of us born and raised Catholic, being like, no, you don't understand.
Yeah,
it's here, the First Testament.
This is not the place you start. You need to start way over there, and then you make your way here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was also why I was like, I wanted to take this journey with you, because I felt like,
build up to this.
not to build up to this specifically, but I feel like, the longer the show goes, the more it sits with you. I think the better the show feels. Like the show almost gets better the bigger it is, which is very weird.
I mean, I still stand by my favorite stuff is, and generally is when things are still trying to find their footing.
Mm-hmm.
So I still stand by, I think the classic stuff I prefer generally.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that also has everything to do with, I just like the aesthetics. I like the quality of film over digital film.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, I really liked this.
Yeah.
This is one of those rare moments where you and I are both sitting here agreeing on something.
Moffat did say that it was a real challenge to write for multiple doctors. He says the best thing you can do when writing a multi-doctor story is to decide not to write one. It's like it is very difficult to do this, which makes sense because they're all big personalities that have to share a room.
I also do wonder too if it's because we're being introduced to a version of the Doctor that we've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
There is a little bit of wiggle room there
Yeah.
of like, oh, cool, I don't have to keep this doctor sacred.
Yeah. This doctor could be what I want to do with.
Yes.
He could
And
fit a
because
narrative
I'm not
beat.
having to juggle, 6+ different doctors and iterations of the doctors, I'm just juggling now 2 with the addition of this other one that I can kind of do with what I want.
Mm-hmm.
And these 2, though, are the biggest dweebs that have ever played the doctor.
Yeah, for sure. I really like this. This is an episode I revisited a lot in my heyday of hoodoo, my heyday of hoodoo fandom, my heyday of Doctor Who fandom.
No, hoodoo.
I watched it basically anytime the show was not currently airing. I would revisit it, and it's just been a few years since then. I just haven't. I kind of fell off that wagon.
I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about the Great Doheny. Instead of disappearing, he just kind of pops into your bedroom.
And I do think that it is a bit of a shame that the only way they could fit in the other doctors was through this cameo fest at the end. I get it. I don't know where else in the story I would have changed this. I don't know what I would change about this to make that happen, because
the only way
they don't fit the story, and I feel like the story had to be in some capacity about the time more.
The only way, well, especially, okay, several thoughts. Choose one. Okay. The only way that I could see them having paid more homage to past doctors is on the phone call, to Kate, if they'd had the voices of other past doctors coming through to her.
Yeah.
But even still, Kate was not the main issue of this episode. It was the Time War, especially since the episode resolves itself with we're undoing
our biggest mistake.
We're undoing the genocide that we caused. We're undoing so much hurt that the only way that you could tell that story successfully is through the individuals that were living with the consequences of those actions.
Yeah.
Because could you imagine having this story, but then roping and having, McGann make it a cameo and have to talk about things that he doesn't fully understand.
Yeah.
And add insight to an event that he
cannot add insight into.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's just a shame that they couldn't do it. If only we knew what those actors were up to at the time. If only there was some kind of special that we could watch that would show us what the other actors were doing.
Is there?
Next episode.
Oh, no.
We're going to watch a...
I was wondering. I was like, damn, you're really hanging on to that. This is leading to something.
Next week, we will be looking at...
We're not getting to Christmas that fast.
Next week, we'll be looking at a special episode called the 5-ish Doctors Reboot. Featuring the actors that the doctor actors that were not in this made their own little 30-minute special or so of them trying to get into the 50th anniversary special. And it is just silly and doofy, and I'm looking forward to showing that with you. And we will watch that on the next episode of Who Is My Doctor?
Ah, geez. Who is my doctor?
Who is indeed. Happy anniversary. Jeez, it feels so strange to get here. In some ways, the whole podcast has felt like a race we've been building up to for 2 years, and now we're here, and we just keep going. Surreal is the wrong word, but so much of my thoughts for the last year have been building up to this, and now we move on and we get ready for Capaldi. This has been such a joy to bring to you all, and I just want to say thank you for listening and following the show, whether you're a new listener or if you've been here with us the whole 2+ years we've been doing this. it means a lot to us. If you would like to support the show directly, you can find us over on Patreon at patreon.com/whoismydoctor. I've recounted the benefits enough. It's $1 a month if you want to support us. It means a lot to us. But otherwise, special thanks as always to our Big Daddy Dalek patrons, Andrew Blewett, David Gansel, Travis Aiken, and Daniel Lindgren. Next Tuesday, we get to see what the classic doctors are up to. So we'll see you next Tuesday, because your Tuesdays are now Who's Days.